What's up, everybody? Dark 1985. There's levels to this. All right. So, you want to be a PC gamer. Well, let me talk to you real quick before you make the decision to leave your consoles behind and move over to PC. I know you've been watching a lot of videos. I know you've been doing your own research, and you've been seeing consistently people saying that gaming on PC is better than gaming on a console. I will tell you from experience, I've been gaming on PC for about a year now, so I'm pretty close to remembering what it's like to game on a console. Yes, gaming on PC is ultimately better. However, it is not perfect and it comes with some annoyances that I think you really need to know before you jump in. This is the example that I will give you. Okay. I went ahead and jumped from the Xbox Series X to PC for the simple fact that I was tired of playing games at 30 FPS. I was done playing games at 30 frames per second. I bought a $500 machine saying that it was a next gen, promising 4K 60, a 4K 120 on the box. And then whenever I saw games at 30 FPS, eventually after the third game, I said, okay, well, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to go ahead and move over to PC. Now, the reality is, fast forward today, a year later, if you really want to count how many games come out on the consoles actually at 30 FPS, being honest, there's not many. Most of the games do come out at 60. So the minor annoyance of having to play a game at 30, or now I move over to PC where I can control what the FPS is of most of the games. There are some games that still come out on PC locked at 60 for whatever reason, but no real games locked at 30 on PC, right? But to be able to achieve that, I have had to deal with a lot of annoyances on PC. And I'm just simply being honest with you. There's a lot of people out there that aren't going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. You could go ahead and watch my videos, go through my videos, and you will see. Okay. Number one, yes, you will have to tinker with settings. Yes, you will have to adjust graphical settings when you're playing on PC. You can, if you want, you can go ahead and just run the game and let the PC pick the settings, but I highly advise against it. And any PC gamer out there that has played multiple games on PC will tell you that your PC is not always going to get it right. Sometimes the PC will have some weird thing. As a matter of fact, yesterday's a video of me running Forza Motorsport on my 4070 laptop. Right, I have a laptop with a 4070. Relax, I have a desktop too. Right. But I was running on my laptop that has a 4070 in it. For whatever reason, the game wanted to run with ray tracing on. And that was just the default settings. It wanted to run with ray tracing. Why? I have no idea. But that's a setting, for instance, that you and I wouldn't pick naturally. Why would you pick that naturally? Like, no, we're going to go ahead and turn off ray tracing. Trust me, it's overrated. Some games it works well. Most games is overrated. And it just kills your performance more than anything, right? But some games you'll go ahead and load up and they'll show up in window mode, or the resolution will be lower than what your actual monitor is or what your actual TV is. So again, running a game at whatever the recommended settings is that the game has as soon as the game pops up is I highly advise against it. Highly advise against it. If you have an NVIDIA card and you want to use the NVIDIA experience and have it optimized per the actual program, sure, you could use that. Typically, that does a little bit better. AMD has something similar as well. But typically, the best results you're going to get is when you actually go in there and learn what each setting does and how it affects your GPU, and you go ahead and adjust the settings yourself. I promise you, that's when you're going to get the best results, okay? So, yes, if you don't want to tinker with settings, because settings can be annoying, literally whenever you start a game, the first thing you're going to do is go to settings. That can be a problem, okay? So that is annoying. So you are going to have to tinker with settings, right? Number two, you can't just use a controller. You will need a mouse and a keyboard somehow, some way, whether it's a controller that you also have a mouse and a keyboard attached to it, because they sell those as well, whether you have a Bluetooth keyboard, whatever it is, you can't simply control the entire system with a controller. You will need to have a mouse and keyboard just in case. And anybody that tells you otherwise is 100% flat out lying. Now, you can get your PC to the point where it can do a lot with just a controller. Oh, you sure can. But if something happens and you need to alt escape or whatever, or you have to bring up the Windows menu or whatever, you're going to need a keyboard to do that. Okay. And again, I dare somebody to prove me wrong, because there's going to be people that want to talk trash and be like, no, that's not true. You will need a mouse and keyboard somewhere in the vicinity. Whereas on a console, the controller is all you need, and then you do everything from there, right? Okay. Number two, weird things happen on PCs that are not even related to gaming. Driver issues that might deal with audio, driver issues that might deal with the way your PC starts up, driver issues with all kinds of different things. Okay, you might have Microsoft Teams that for whatever reason wants to start popping up for whatever reason. You might download an app like Discord and forget to turn it off, or have it not auto start. A lot of apps like to auto start. So all kinds of things can happen on PC that again you're gonna have to tinker with and you're gonna have to deal with. All right. PCs are typically larger than consoles. Okay, especially if you want a PC that has a pretty decent graphics card and all that stuff, they're typically larger than consoles. Now, the good thing about this is that PCs nowadays, you could get them in all different types of form factors. But the better the form factor, and what I mean by better, meaning the more compact, the more aesthetic the form factor, typically the more expensive it's going to be for the specs that you're going to get comparable to a console. I'm just being 100% honest with you. The Xbox Series X is an engineering marvel. I have no idea how they packed all that stuff into all that for that price, right? Obviously, the price has gone up now, but for the price of $500 when I actually bought that piece of hardware, okay? Let me see what else. PC does have the best backwards compatibility. There is nothing consoles could even dream of touching the backwards compatibilities that you get on PC. Now, when you want to play some of these old games that are on PC, get ready to deal with some funky stuff. For instance, I'm playing Black Ops right now, the first Black Ops on PC. When you're playing Black Ops on PC, even though I could play it at 4K now, high resolution textures and everything, so it looks phenomenal. To get to the menu, I have to use a mouse and keyboard because it doesn't recognize the controller. Now, once I'm in the game, it recognizes a controller, but besides that, it doesn't. The newer modern games all have controller support natively, and it's perfectly fine, okay? Here's another thing you're going to have to deal with when it comes to PC versus a console, okay? When you're on a console, you're used to one operating system, whether it's a PlayStation operating system, the Xbox operating system, the Nintendo operating system, meaning the UI, the menu, the thing that you see. When you're on PC, you can lock yourself to one OS if you want, but that would be foolish. You would be undermining what the PC is actually meant for, okay? Which is the freedom of being able to choose whatever platform you want. But with whatever platform you want, meaning whether you want to play games on Epic, whether you want to play games on Ubisoft, whether you want to play games on the Xbox app, whether you want to play games on Steam, whether you want to play games on GOG, every single one of these has a different UI and a different way to navigate their menu. These are all things you're going to have to deal with, okay? Another issue sometimes that PC has, which again is up to you whether you want to consider it an issue. There's some games on PC that regardless of where you bought the game or where you think you're launching the game, it's still launching through their actual launcher. A great example would be Ubisoft games. If you're playing a Ubisoft game on the Xbox app, it's actually going to launch through the Ubisoft app. Same thing with Steam. If you're running a game on Steam that's Ubisoft, it's typically going to launch through the Ubisoft app as well. Okay, just letting you know, giving you a fair warning of different things that you might have to deal with. All right, let's see what else. The benefits of PC though, overall, like I said in the beginning, that it's better. It's just better because the games look better and the games typically run better, and then it's an open platform. You don't got to pay for online. The amount of games that you can play on PC are way more than the amount of games that you can play on console. Consoles don't really have exclusives anymore except for the Nintendo Switch, right? All PlayStation games pretty much are going to go over to PC unless they change their mind and they renege. But as of right now, they're pretty much all going over there. Everything is just a timed exclusive on a PlayStation. And if you're an Xbox fan, you know all Xbox games are going day and date to PC. So you really have nothing to lose there. Game Pass Ultimate is cheaper on PC if you're into that, okay? And PlayStation has sales on PCs the same way that they have sales on their own platform. So you really lose nothing. You really lose nothing. So unless you're 100% anti-tinkering, then maybe you do want to stay on console. But this is the question that I'm going to ask you. Do you have a real need to move to PC? Because if you don't have a real need to move to PC, go ahead and stay on console. If the console is satisfying everything that you want, from the Xbox Series X to the Xbox Series S to the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, then why would you move to PC? What's the point? What's the point? You should move to PC or move to a different platform when the platform that you're on is not satisfying your needs. That's what I did. I was tired of playing games at 30 FPS, moved to PC to make sure I never have to play a game at 30 FPS. But now I'm dealing with all the tinkering and all that other stuff. Is it worth it? As of right now, I can tell you it is. But here's the kicker. We're going to get a new Xbox, and there's going to be another PlayStation. If this PlayStation and this Xbox are more computer-like than they are console-like, I have a decision to make. Do I stay on PC? Prices of PC are going up. RAM is going crazy, right? Do I stay on PC? We shall see. As of right now, I am enjoying my gaming on PC, and I could promise you this: it is the best gaming that I have ever experienced. Playing games at incredible frames, playing games with great graphics, playing games with the freedom of not having to pay for online, and being able to play PlayStation games, Xbox games, and third-party games all on the same box is phenomenal. Does feel nice. Being able to use whatever controller I want is phenomenal. But there are some caveats to it, and I'm just being honest with you. Doc Dog 1985, there's levels to this. We out. Peace.